Man, G. Before we even dive into it, though, congratulations on all this shit you've been going. That's why I was like, bro, Treb was like, yeah, man, I think he was come on. I was like, I'm gonna reach out, but like, he was just at the UC. Bro, like, people was just looking at your paintings at the United Center. Like, coming from a shorty who grew up here, I noticed you on a different level now, bro.
I appreciate it. It's crazy. Like, honestly, it's still processing for real. Like,
what is up, and welcome back to another episode of the Miseducation of Music. You are here with J-Treb as always, but today I have an artist in the building, man. I usually say I got a special guest, but I gotta put artists on it because of this whole intro I gotta give you, man. This is the illustrator, the photographer, the painter, the designer. Man, like we can keep going on with what you've done with this art, but today we have the artist Kalief in the building, man. What's up?
Man, appreciate you having me for sure. Man, you can't keep listing all stuff too, for real.
That's what I'm saying. When I was going through just every way you've let your art shine in different forms, just purely from what you can do with your hands to what you can do on a tablet.
Yeah,
I was like, man, like I don't know exactly what to put as the intro. I was like, I gotta say them all. I gotta say everything, because then I went and looked at the photographs. I didn't know you shot those photographs of Asar for the Prince exhibit.
Yeah.
Which I was like, I remember when that happened, I had no clue you even touched it, man. So like, you are a true artist. Like when I say like artist, I mean it. Multidisciplinary. Like, man, you give each of these such great care with the craft that I feel like it is an honor to sit here next to you, bro.
Man, it's an honor to sit next to you. You know, to have somebody that want to listen to the story, like I'll never take that for granted. So.
Man, look, we gonna dive into the story today. Now, look, the tagline of this season was "Artist in My Headphones," because I was getting all the people who I listened to. But to hit me up, man, and I gotta show you how real it was. I sent them a screenshot because this is my background.
No, you playing?
This has been the background on my phone since this came out, like since you had the Kanvas Studios. And what I sent back to him was just a screenshot. And I said, bro, this is what the show was made for. Bro, and I'm gonna make sure to take a screenshot so Tapri can throw it on the screen. My background is one of these beautiful pieces of art that you've created, man. And I love having that on my background because I always have Chicago on it. So I usually got like Hebrew on the watch or something like that. It's so awesome that I got to add another person into that, bro. That's so awesome that now, like, this still stays in the same realm. Like, I got people who are on my phone here. Like, that's the person that, bro, I see that artwork every day and I love it so much. I love to know that it came from the city. I want to know, since you also came from the city, how did you get into this, man?
Bro, first of all, that's super crazy to me because, like, just being the creator of it, like, you like to hope that people see the work and resonate with it and keep it, but to keep it as something, like you said, you see every day, like, I appreciate that a lot.
No, man, it's worth it, G. Like, it's real art right there, man.
A whole lot. But, man, getting into it for real, like, I feel like my journey has been kind of unorthodox in a sense, like fully self-taught.
But those are the best stories.
No, for sure. Like, fully self-taught in everything. So
that's
camera,
like even the painting, because you know that was going to be a question. I was going to say, like, did you get any formal training to be able to draw the way you do?
Not at all, bro. I think, you know, aside from the elementary school art that you have, or
I mean, yeah, we all got the little art kit at Christmas with the dried up paint. I didn't become an artist, so you know, like,
bro, I never got more than that for real. I didn't take my first art class, and it was Art 1 until my senior year of high school because I needed an extra credit. Like,
just because you needed an extra credit is bro. Man, come on, G. Well, I'm glad you needed that extra credit,
bro, for real. But like. Even before that, though, because I really started painting my junior year of high school, so that's like 2015, and I started painting gym shoes. Like, growing up, I didn't really know I didn't know any artists.
I was about to ask, like, what's even the inspiration to, like, put a paintbrush to a shoe? Were you just like, I need my shits to look different?
Bro, it's actually, which is the crazy thing, right? I feel like it's so Chicago, or specifically Southside. Like, I was on World Star Hip Hop, and I seen a video of this one artist painting Timberlands, painting like bags. He was painting like a dress, like doing a live painting. His name is like Delano Brown. And when I seen that, it wasn't even necessarily the art that caught my attention, but more so the lifestyle behind it. So he painted a bag. He had a party. He got his own shoes on that he didn't paint it. Shirt he didn't paint it. He painted a Lamborghini, and I'm like, okay.
And it's like, bro, everything in your life has your tag on it. It's almost like he put his signature on whatever was on him.
Literally,
like, that's wild.
And that was kind of the thing. And like, before I got into art, I've always been into fashion in my own sense, right? So when I seen that video, I'm like, okay, I I like art. I've always drawn, right? But I never really dabbled into paint. And watching.
And were you like good with the drawings too? I
was
like,
decent. You know, I was like,
it wasn't stick figures and the 3-line S joints.
Yeah, I was decent. I was decent, but it was just like.
And is it like you just saw it in your head and you could draw something, or you just interpret things in a way that you can communicate with your hands?
I guess it's more so like interpreting. Like starting off, I used to use like references. So you start off with the things close to you. Lil Wayne covers of albums. That's what I started off drawing. Man. So I could see it. I had like, bro, it seemed like I was using Lil Wayne as my like benchmark to see if I've gotten better. Like,
it's like, let me draw Lil Wayne and see how my Lil Wayne look today.
Yeah, literally. So I remember drawing, which album cover is it? Is it Dedication 3? It's one of the his mixtapes that I used to draw like every 6 months just to see if I got better at it. Then Kanye West, of course, drawing him.
Oh yeah, graduation teddy bear. I tried to draw one of those back in the day. Mine didn't look that good. Bro. You know, like I know that time period. Right.
But I think I actually think the first art piece I sold was like some sketching shit that I did just randomly. It was Kanye West and half of the graduation bear, just in pencil on some regular paper. Framed it and sold it for like $50.
Man, okay. So was that like the battery in the back? It's time to make something off of this.
Actually, I'm gonna say no, right? Because
where were you at that time? Like, what age is that?
That was junior year.
So you're in high school.
So I'm in high school,
and you're already like, I can tie this to a viable monetary income.
I'm gonna tell you, like, so it went from that, right? And the dude just seen that I had drew it, and he was like, "You want to sell it?" And I'm like, "Damn. You want to buy it?" So I was like,
you asked the question back to him, like, so wait, hold on, is this something that you like?
Right. So I let him buy it. But then after that, right, the whole clothes thing. So I used to draw, and before I got to painting, I was like, okay, let me take this design to a shirt company and get it printed on some shirts. So
just a little screen print.
Right. So I actually went on like 85th and Cottage Grove. It was this black-owned screen printed company, and they used to let me print shirts. If I would supply the shirts for like $5.
Man, that's the whole stain. That's the stain today.
Bro,
like,
the whole stain. Like one color, one screen, I'll have to pay like.
Bro, you don't even understand. You can flood the streets with them shirts.
Bro.
Immediately.
I used to sell them out my locker.
I bet. At $5 to create, bro, let me tell you, I would have flipped so many shirts.
Bro, out my locker. And it was crazy because I used to like sell Gatorade, and then I'll use the money I got from selling Gatorade at school to then go get the shirts made and sell the shirts out my locker.
Man, so you was built for this hustle. You was built for this hustle.
That's how it started, and then it's really just been a hustle since then. Like, and that's where it goes back to just like the illustrations, photography, painting. Like, it's all creative, but the thing that really keeps me going, like that I love about it, is the hustle. For real. Like, I started here, and then I made $5. And then you try to make 10, and then just keep going from there, but also getting better at it.
Yeah, I mean, you still drawing your Lil Wayne benchmarks in between these.
So it's just like, that was always been my thing. And I used to play sports, so I'm like super competitive when it comes to everything, really.
Oh, damn. How does the competitive nature translate to art? I feel like it's very individualistic. So are you the person you're facing off here? Like, is it past you?
It's interesting, right? Because I think, of course, I feel like this was like with all creators. Starting off, you had the comparison thing, right? You see other people doing this.
Well, can I draw like this? Can I draw what he drew or this and that?
So I started off the same way. Like, it was just like that. And it hadn't really gotten to I'm my like biggest competitor until I would say recently.
Okay.
Like, it's always just been like a competition from afar. So like, I can see you do this. All right, let me see if I can do it. And that's really how I got even into murals. I'm like, okay, I could do this, but I see this person drawing on a wall. Let me try and get to a wall.
And that's the thing, too, where I see it as this beautiful thing from being a third party. Because, I mean, like, I'm the observer. I don't do these art forms. I appreciate them. When I see it like, oh, he's making a mural, in my mind, I'm like, how dope is it that you get to write on a wall? And then I'll see something like a jacket or some shoes you paint. I'm like, how awesome is it to just paint on your shoes? Like, it's almost like a kid's sense of wonder, but you then bring your sophisticated art to it. And it's so beautiful to see you like working in that and to know that the competition is yourself, especially when you're climbing these ladders. Like, man, look, we got to dive into some of this artwork that you've done. Now, man, you're talking about murals, so I just want to dive into that. Like, painting on a wall, like you've done beautiful murals at Leo High School. You've done amazing mural for House of Highlights for Through the Wire. That is amazing. I've seen it, and it's like I was just like, this is great. And did you use freehand before I get any further? Like,
bro, freehand.
Wild.
Freehand.
Fucking wild. But like, so you're painting these murals, and I mean, that's what got you to this recognition that you have today. Right. What kind of led that? Like, in the sense of like, how do you accept that? Like, somebody just goes, hey, I want my face on this wall. Right. And then like, where do you take that? What's your process?
So it's kind of crazy, right? Because I try to show like the first mural I did, which is on 40th and King Drive next to Chicago Chicken and Waffles. I did also my junior year.
Man, come on, bro. This was a great year for you. This was...
Bro, it was the same year I started painting, right? And it was crazy because my grandma had seen a picture I drew and showed this older artist that was working on that mural. And he was like, I like that drawing. I want him to do the Obama portion. And at this point, I haven't even been painting for like 3 months yet. So I'm like...
Not you're doing a prominent black figure on a public wall.
You got me doing Obama in 2015.
Man, it's like, come on, you can't have me do the bogus Obama election year coming up. Bro. You got... come on, man. How was it dealing with that stress or even approaching that situation?
It was... I ain't want to do it. Like my grandma used to come pick me up from the crib and take me to the mural like for the week or so that I was working on it. But I was like, man, I don't really want to do it.
It's like I'm not in this in the same manner because I don't know, did it have some type of like fear for you on it?
And I think that's what it was. Like, you know, you had that imposter syndrome in a sense, right? It's like, you know, I can do it, but can I do that? Right. But I think that right there, because even just like with murals in general, which is different from a lot of the other paintings, it's like being able to solve that problem. Like every mural I get into before I do the first spray, it's very anxious because it's like, I don't know what I'm about to get myself into. Because it is such a big project. And that
doesn't go away?
It does not go away. It hasn't gone away. But that was like my first start, and I didn't want to do it. But shout out to my grandma, because if it wasn't for that, I don't think I would have then gained the confidence as soon as I did to then feel like anything that anybody threw at me, I could do.
Man, shout out to your grandma. Man, like, honestly, man. Because that had to be like a nervous thing. Now, going from that to approaching something like during a mural at a high school, which is, come on, man, like that's so awesome. I feel like that's a level right there. Like, what is it like to then like approach that? I mean, you said it still has this anxiety, this anxiousness, but I'm sure you step up to it with like a different level of confidence, and when your hand starts going, it's going to do the right thing.
Right, yeah. And it's just like, so I would honestly say the one I did for Through the Wire was the one that I did, and I was like, okay, I could do anything after this. Like, because it was like the hardest thing.
You created a Mount Rushmore.
Bro, a Mount Rushmore. Freehand. Like, and the crazy thing with it, right, is like people are kind of the hardest thing to draw. And
easily.
Like, and especially on top of that, I'm painting people that are going to come in this room and see themselves.
They're literally going to be sitting underneath their faces. So you have to make sure the likeness is that enough for the people to be like, oh, that's obviously Pierre. That's obviously Kenny. Like, just noticing the people on the show who are literally right behind them.
Right. So that's the thing. And it's just like, okay, because I could create a character because you don't have nothing to compare it to. But if I'm painting somebody that's literally sitting here, it's like, okay. But once I did that, bro, and I did it in like 5 days, and like one of those days was cleanup.
Yo, you're superhuman.
And I was like, I literally sat there for like a good 10 minutes just looking at it like, bro, I feel like I could do anything.
It's like, I'm here now, man. And I mean, look, like just to transition right off of that, like we're talking about your recent works. You did that, and now you've gotten like recognition from the city on such a large level. Like, and I mean, I really don't want to undersell this for the people who are at the crib watching. You got to be interviewed at the UC. They put you on the Jumbotron. They got to see, you know, you doing your art on the Jumbotron. And along with that, you actually got to talk with Joakim Noah, get interviewed by him, and it was for a Crown Royal sponsorship. And I'm just like, this is so beautifully Chicago, and it's so awesome to see that win for you. What is that all like? Because I mean, like, you obviously noticed you was him at that time, and other people did too.
And the crazy thing about that, right? It was honestly like I had got the opportunity not too long after the House of Highlights mural on like a random Tuesday, like email, and I looked at it. I promise you, I looked at it, sent it to my friends. I'm like, you think this real?
That's it, but that is exactly what would happen if I got an email from the Bulls telling me that I'm about to do a spot with Joakim. Hold on, man. Somebody check for errors. Is the spelling wrong?
Something got to be up with this, bro. And then they was asking me, like, do you want to do it? And I'm like, do I want to do it? Like, yes.
And did you know you would get a jersey with your name on it at that point?
I had no idea.
How was, man, come on,
idea. I didn't even know that Joakim was going to interview me. Like, it was just like on some, hey, we had this, and this that we wanted to do. Are you interested? And I'm like, yes. And then they got there and it was like all a secret. And I like walked into this room and he was sitting there, which the man is tall, bro.
Tall as hell.
Bro, the man is
tall as hell. I've been to my fair share of basketball games. I've seen him up like when you see him up close, you're just like, oh shit. Like
yeah, bro. And I don't like standing
with
next
the
to
hair
people
too?
taller than me for real. So that was, and he had a hat on that day, so he was like at least 7'3", bro. So it was like crazy just in that moment. And just sitting there and talking to him, it was very surreal. Not even just for me in that moment, but just the fact that like kid me could have never imagined that we would be sitting here talking.
We still made it to the league in a way.
We made it
you
to the league.
This? Like,
and I used to hoop, so I'm like, okay, we made it to the league.
It's like, man, if I ain't never seen a sign to keep going,
bro, for real. And it was crazy, right? Because I got to talk to him. And it felt like a conversation like we have. Like, it didn't feel super fake or like he was just there talking to me like I was somebody to talk to on the list that day. Like, we had a real genuine conversation. Even ended up getting his number. Like,
that's really wild, man.
In with me.
It's like, man, I didn't mess around and made a connection off accepting an email that I got on a random Tuesday. And then they showed me the jersey with my name on it, and I'm like, bro, I would have been like, hey, you got to give me a second. I might cry. Bro, like, you got to give me a moment. We got to redo this for the camera. We can't get the real reaction.
And then the crown roll you back with my name on it. That took it over the top.
I was like, that's so Chicago. Bro. That's one of those things where it's like, you know how many crown roll bags I've seen in my life?
Bro,
if I had one with my name on it and a jersey, oh man, you couldn't tell me that I'm not the shit here. At least literally. Here, like
honestly though, like, and even after all of that, because that happened like a couple of months before the game. And being able just to take my family to that, like to be courtside and take pictures on the court and see me on the Jumbotron made it even more real because it was like, I'm still in shock or just like, dang, it's really happening. But having them there kind of like made it even more real. Because now they can tap back into those memories. They got to experience it. And that's what really made it worth it because it's like not only do I get to do cool stuff and get highlighted, but my family gets to see that, and I hope that inspires them to like, especially the parents, because the older you get,
I told you I was doing something,
bro. I told you I was doing.
Come on, man. You don't understand. Let me hit that level, and I told you, bro. Told you it was gonna be something.
And it's crazy, right? Because when I was in college, it was always this conversation of like, make sure you on your school though. Like you can keep paying it, but school come first.
It's that Kanye line. That's something you can fall back on. You can profit with.
And my mom's a teacher, so she really like school wasn't nothing to joke with.
Oh and
it was crazy. Like I how can I say this? So I've just started learning how to actually appreciate my wins. So like a lot of times I go through things or achieve certain things and I don't share it that much. Or I don't know how to talk about it because I don't know how to receive it.
Yeah, you kind of get what you need from it and you're like, but why do I need to give it to y'all?
Yeah, so and just like, and accepting that, right? Appreciating and accepting that you are raw at what you do.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna flex a little bit, right? But in college, right, I was doing art like full time. That was what I was doing. And my mom was like, you got to make sure that you're doing school just as much as you're doing art because that's important. And I'm like, okay, how can I prove to her that I'm cool on the school, but I'm also
over here. I'm going to get that little degree. Don't worry.
I got straight A's my junior year while I was painting every finals.
That's why your ass can do a mural in 4 days and have 1 day for cleanup. That's because you have a different work ethic, man.
And I showed I'm like...
Straight A's in college is insanity.
Bro.
Talk about something I never even tried to do.
Bro. And it was just like...
I was just trying to pass.
I feel that for sure. And it was just one of the moments I'm like, I'm raw with this, but I also could be raw with this too. So it's just like, I think from there, that's when they started realizing like, okay, he might be on to something. But at the Bulls thing... just like for my dad and my mom, they're like, okay, this is different right here.
It's like, hold up, everybody right now can see my son and what he did. Maybe he was on to some shit.
Yeah, like, so that felt good. Just finally getting to that point of them, like, because I really don't think they know what I do. Honestly, just from the photography, like I'm pretty sure they don't even know that I've done photos like that.
It's like they know the big things. They know
they haven't seen the mural at House of Highlights, so they see it on the phone, which is cool, but it
takes away a layer of it. Because I mean, once you see something in person, or when you see some of like just the detail you put into this art, it very much shines through that it's like, oh, he took his time. Yeah. Oh, he did this like properly. This is like a piece of art, for lack of a better term, inside of this space. That's what it is, though. It's like it is like precious art once you look at like, oh shit, that's a piece of like you.
So and I think the Bulls thing kind of just put it all into perspective for them. Like, okay, if we got here, where else?
It's like we didn't pay to get in.
No, we literally
it's like so. I guess you made it.
And it's so crazy, right? Because it'd be the little things that like really impressed them. Because like the jumbotron thing was cool, but it was like, oh wait, your name on the parking list? Like that's
that shit. Oh, that's the type of thing. For black parents, I feel like those are the real levels,
bro.
It'd be like, hold up, they know your name at the front desk, and it's like, hold up, we're going to do something way cooler than that.
So, but that was just so funny, just like going through that, and I think, like I said, it was more inspiring for me, but also I hope like for them to show them too, just like. Your son could do it, but you also could do.
I mean, gee, look, you're showing everybody. Like, I'd argue you're an inspiration everywhere. Because I mean, it just inspires me to see people who follow their dreams. So seeing you just living inside the passion alone is so dope. Yeah. Like to see that it's like, yo, this is somebody who paints, and we can now show this as a viable career for people. Right. We can show people that you will get your recognition, that you can, try these other areas. I feel like that's the big thing that it seems our generation is trying to do for people. It's like, hey, you could just do some out the box stuff, and people like it. Like people will like it if you put all of yourself into it.
Bro, it's literally, and like I was telling you before, like I just did a career day at my old elementary school that I went to. Excuse me. And I was talking to fourth graders, right? Mm-hmm. That literally were born the year I graduated from elementary school. And I'm like, I could get up here and tell you that, you could be an artist, like, but everybody here not going to be artists. Everybody in here don't want to be artists. But I'm here to tell you that if it's something you want to do, literally, it's possible to make a career out of it. Because I've done it, and it wasn't like I got into it knowing that, oh yeah, I'm gonna be an artist when I grow up, or I'm gonna do this.
You were just willing to do the work,
bro.
That was the biggest thing. I think that's what separates a lot of people from being the casual hobby to like, could you make this a viable career? The line is literally like, are you willing to work like it's one? Yeah,
like that's what it is, and it's just like, and that could be anything. Like you said, it's people that's getting paid millions to play video games now.
Man, I mean, dude, like there's something for everything. Literally. And the second that you think there isn't, there still is. It's like, nah, man, there's a niche that you just don't know about, where it's 10,000 people who watch that person, and that person's making enough money to pay their rent. So it's like, bro.
And that's how you start off. Like, you just
literally,
give
like, can this art pay my rent, and then go from there.
Bro.
But like, man, it's so dope. I think you are just such an inspiration with the way you do this. I mean, you had artwork in the UC. Like, it had to be nice seeing people just take that glance when they walking when they walking past it.
Bro, I had some black Air Force Ones on display. And I did that on purpose. I'm like, I gotta get some black ones on display at the United Center. Like,
that's so beautiful. That's so Chicago, though.
It had to be. And I got to do that. And that was just like, again, just a surreal moment. So,
man, that's so awesome, Jay.
So shout out to the Bulls. I appreciate that a lot. And everybody that just made it happen, because it's so easy. Chicago's a big city.
It's a big city, small city, same time.
Literally.
Thing.
So it's just like, the fact that they were able to see that really put stuff into perspective for me. Like, okay, it's different when you have it on your list, on your mood board. Like, okay, I want to get there.
I would love to be on the jumbotron. It's like, that wasn't the dream at the top of 2023.
And then you get there, and it's just like, now I'm almost in this space of like, okay, of course I believe that anything was possible before that, but now it's kind of like, now I ain't got to psych myself into believing it.
Yeah, because it's like, other people see me.
Right. So it's like, what else can come out of this? And it's just like, bro, there's really no limits at all.
Now, man, I want to dive into more of the artwork. So we talked about the paintings, the clothes.
Right.
I want to talk about your digital illustration now, because you're not only Cole when it comes to the actual mechanical utensils.
Right.
You can use the tools of the time to create some of the coolest shit I've seen, bro. And I mean, like, make sure you throwing up some of these that he did over February. This was such an awesome series you did where you highlighted different businesses.
Right.
For 28 of the days of February, and you drew like just a reimagining of their logo, or you took their phrases and you drew a picture from them, almost like what you felt in the moment.
Right.
And I don't want to put any words in your mouth because I need to figure out how you came to these ideas, bro. So how did you come up with that idea? How did you pick the businesses? And then like how do you like go, oh, this is a barbershop, but I'm gonna do this beautiful painting that almost it's like you can see the like it relates to it, but it's not the same in the sense of just like a barber pole and some scissors.
Right. So and it's crazy, right? Because I feel like this was like one of my first time tapping into my degree. So my degree is in advertising.
Oh wow.
So
relevant.
So and it was like always this idea of like, okay, I can use it if I want to go get a job, but also I need to learn how to market and advertise my own stuff. And I
Two
feel
for
like,
one here.
Literally. So and I always had this idea of like, I know people know I can paint, but I also want to show that like it's strategy behind the moves that I make at the same time. So coming up with the 28 days was something that I genuinely wanted to do, because art for me, right, I wanted to speak to the people that look like me, that come from where I come from, and putting it in galleries is cool, but I wanted to resonate with people that go to these businesses. That's like, okay, I've been to Heroes before, so this makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, even now I can like associate that with you, where I think of like the really cool design you flipped for Heroes, you know?
So, and it was just like, and I started off in choosing the 28 businesses, all from Chicago. First start off with like, which ones do I visit? Which ones do I want to visit?
Okay.
Which ones are cool that I didn't know about? Because I wanted to ultimately like highlight them. Because I don't know every black business in Chicago. I haven't been there, but this is an opportunity to learn as well as
so you took this as almost like I'm gonna research the city a little bit.
Because it's just like, I'm trying to not even say put on for the city, but I'm trying to materialize the life of a black Chicagoan and create art based off that. And I only have my perspective, going through the city, but I can at least try to tap into other business owners that are also going on this journey as well of how do I get what I love to do out to the city so people can experience it. And 28 minutes, it started off as 28 minutes of, okay, this is the business. Let's draw something for 28 minutes, and whatever we get to at the end of that, that's what we put out.
Okay, because I was going to ask about the process. How do you create 28 pieces of art?
So that's how it came. And like the smarter version would have done it all before the day of, but each piece I made that day.
How?
Bro, that day.
So these were on the day they were posted.
On the day.
So not posted. Like the night before, because I was under the assumption that you were probably like 28 business is 28 minutes. I'm gonna do 5 first, though. I'm gonna have 5 in the chamber and then work from there. But you did this like honestly as like that's an exercise, man. Hold on. So in one project, not only were you highlighting black business in Chicago, highlighting the black experience of Chicago, teaching yourself new things about the city that you might not have known, but you were also giving yourself a creative task as an artist to work 28 minutes.
Yes.
Every single day.
And the thing on that is like it kind of forced me to not think too hard into things, because like
I was about to say this has to be limiting. Yeah. Like this is like if you told an artist to make a song in 28 minutes, they might freeze.
Right.
And you're talking about like a whole digital drawing that represents a business idea. Like is this like idea of like all the way through, or like are you like the night before you like I'm gonna sleep on it and I'm gonna have a little nothing? Like oh my god, G.
Right then and there, and it was just
wild.
Like because. In February, I was just getting back into like really making the art frequently, like consistently. So I was like, okay, I need something that makes me do it consistently, like every day. Because I was in this space where I'm like, bro, I get to wake up and create as my job, as my daily thing. I need to do things that help me appreciate that more. And that's literally creating every day.
like the way like an artist might be like, yo, if I do 16 bars in the morning, they might be trash, but I'm gonna do them.
Right.
Like, but you said no, I'm gonna do these every day. They have to get posted,
and I'm gonna share.
They had to as well. That's the crazy part, because it's like I feel like you made a commitment to yourself as well inside of it, where you're like,
because it was
I can't give you 27 and say I did it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And the crazy thing about that, it was just like, okay, because social media now, it's another thing with an artist of doing the work but showing it and people being able to have opinions on it, right? Mm-hmm. So this was also an exercise to train myself that everybody's not going to like everything, but you still have to show what you make because you made it.
Man.
So, and it was just like, and I noticed out of the 28, some of them weren't favorites, but it was just like, it doesn't have to be your favorite for me to like it and put it out. Because as long as one person likes it, then it's important.
Exactly.
So that kind of like helped me, like, okay,
man,
now I can really put out anything.
So
like it was.
This project has so many meanings, and it's awesome that you did it also in Black History Month. Like,
and I appreciate you bringing it up too, because that's like part of the side that people don't get to see or get to hear about. Like, it's
because from my side, I was just like, oh, he probably racked up 20 of these. He probably did the last 8 during the month, something like that. And this is heavy assumption. It's the outsider's opinion. It's seeing somebody who's on a high level and just being like, well, I assume they plotted this, planned this, and did. But no, you said every day, like, this was like actually more interactive than I even thought. Like, this is something where it was like really daily feedback. Like, you were seeing this happen. Like, it was like, I dropped that one yesterday and people wasn't really messing with it. So tomorrow I think we'll go a little harder.
Right. And that's literally what happened, right? So I was saying, like, at first it was supposed to be 28 minutes, but then after a while, like, I think the first 2 I did went crazy. And I'm like, okay, now I kind of had to keep putting it out at that level. And the time just kept going for 28 minutes. Then it was like 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Then sometimes it was taking an hour. And then I did get to a point where it was like overwhelming. So I did have to take a couple of days and catch up. But it was like...
But I mean, you still stayed true to it and you still got it done.
Because I can't just stop at 13. I got to go all the way through.
I'm a person where I would have been like, hey, I'm sorry. I just stressed myself out. Y'all going to have to bear with me.
Nah, for real.
I'm not dropping those.
And you got to think, right? So it's everything. It's Valentine's Day is in February. So Valentine's Day, I'm waking up like, I got to do this first. Like, so it was a lot.
Yeah, real life happening.
Bro, real life happening. And doing this, like, which is not something that, like, was guaranteed, that was making money from. It was like, I wanted to do this, so I'm going to do it. And it is taking up time, but this is a commitment that I made to it, so let me go through with it. But also coming up with the captions, bro, because I'm also highlighting the business. Man. I got to say what I need to say about them as well.
You're trying to get them a little tagline to support.
Bro, like,
you got to also have your name for the painting. I imagine naming paintings is as hard as naming beats. Where you're like, oh my God, what is the... I don't know. Like, sometimes I assume the name will hit you right off of it.
Yeah, but then sometimes they don't. And those are the ones that get you. So,
those are the ones where you're sitting there like, oh, man, I have no clue.
Spent more time on the captions than I did drawing the piece. Like,
oh, man.
So it was that. And just, like, I have this, like, level of professionalism that I want to present it with, right? So
I loved it. Each one got the nice posts. They were hanging up. You put them in the 3D space for each of them.
And I'm drawing it that day, so that means I have to do all of that day as well. And post it online.
Apps.
Bro, it was a lot. And then putting it on the website, I edited my website myself. Like, then I got designs that I
not
put
the
on
web
the
design too, G, because you have a great website,
bro. and I have moments where I'm like, bro, I don't like this, and change it. Like, I was editing it earlier today. So everything is, like I said, a one-man team, but it's like the commitment to it and the story or what I want to put out. I like having my hands on, because I know that sometimes I can't explain it, but I can do it.
It's like, if I put my hands to this, you'll know what I made.
Exactly. So that was a month of like doing that, and I'm glad that it did resonate with people, and they were able to get their prints, and I was able to donate some of the proceeds to some of those Black businesses as well. So it was a great thing, but I don't know if I'm gonna do it again until next.
Okay, I was about to say, man, look, you don't need to give us a Halloween series, a Christmas series, but man, I'm not gonna lie, it would be so awesome if you brought it back.
Because I'm gonna try to make it an annual
that's
thing
so
for sure.
awesome, man. Like just to give that to the community, to have that also be something that's advertising you as an artist. Right. I just found it to be not only a great marketing tactic, not only a great advertising tactic, not only all the amazing things you name that you got from it. It was just fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what it was like,
this is so cool. At its core, that's what it is.
Yeah. And I've had people too that reach out like, hey man, you know, I want you to do one for me. I'll pay you. And I'm like, you know, I could do that, but at the same time, like I wanted to have that genuine aspect to it. Like I'm highlighting these people because I'm intrigued. I love what they do. It's just something that you paying for it. It just
this clicked on a different level. This resonated with your passion more so than resonated with the financial aspects of what you're doing.
Because now if I let the financial thing lead it, then it just doesn't have the same outcome. It doesn't come off as genuine the way I wanted it to. So next year, you know, maybe we might change it up and do not just black businesses, maybe black creators, maybe black podcasts.
Like kind of, look, hey, if you do, show me a submission page, bro. No. So, but like, it would be so cool to just even see where you could take it, because I'm sure the idea would you take it and run with it. I mean, you found how many things you could get from this. If you did it again, I'm sure you'd be trying to figure out how it exercises every creative muscle you have.
Exactly. So, and it was like everything from just like, you know, yoga spaces, holistic healing, like, and it was just like, dang, not only are these cool businesses, but they can also help the people in my audience that also probably didn't know they existed.
Yeah, I mean, no, some of them I had zero clue, but I was like, oh, I'll give them a follow. Yeah. Like, let's check them out.
Like specifically, like the Love Fridge, I had no idea about, like the community. It's
the community
fridge, and it's like all free.
And it's literally like, why aren't we telling everybody?
Bro, this is what we should be paying attention to. Like, this is what's changing people's lives on a daily. And that really, like, opened up my eyes as well. And just like, okay, just for my art specifically, it's like, it's a utility to it. Like, of course, having it in spaces, inspiring you is great. But it's like, if I can use it to actually change people's lives on a daily.
Like, man, that's the goal
that's why I do it.
Like, that's the goal with all of it, man. So. Gee, that's so awesome, man. I love how you can just find so many amazing things to grab from these art pieces. Man, like, I don't think you understand. It's like getting the extra story, adding the context to it makes the art even better. Yeah. Like, it's making me reflect on just all the pieces that I've seen that you've created, and I'm thinking so much deeper now. We were talking about names of paintings and things.
And I do think about that, like the names.
You have to. There's no way you don't, because there's one that I love, and the naming might have been obvious due to the fact that there's text on it, but it's the We Grow Here.
Oh, yeah.
Man.
One of my favorite ones.
I love this painting so much. Like, talk about something where you look at it and you're like, I just want to talk to people about it. It's like, I want to see, like, what are you getting from this? Because I can tell you what I'm getting from this, but I kind of just want to see how it's resonating with everyone, especially with the tagline, We Grow Here. And I just want to know, like, from your perspective, like, painting that piece, like, where do you get that? Like, where do you get the We Grow Here? Where does that come in the creative process?
So, and it's crazy, right? Because, like I said, like, all of the pieces, they are literally pieces of me, right? So the We Grow Here, one, I literally have like 40 plants at the crib.
Okay.
So I'm around
You're
plants.
A plant person.
I'm a plant person. But specifically this piece, right? Because I created it kind of like mid-pandemic when like a lot of the looting was going on and all of that. And I also was working with this nonprofit helping teens express themselves through writing. You know, people that have been through trauma, that live in poverty and things like that, like giving them an outlet, because you deal with certain things that you don't really have the spaces where you can vulnerably share that. Yeah,
they need like a different medium for you to translate them through. They're not things you could say in plain English.
Right. So I was helping facilitate that, but it was also helping me deal with the things that I was going through or be more aware of it, and I had started writing. So I was like, okay, I'm good at translating words to a visual, but sometimes the context is lost in that. So going through this process helped me realize, like, okay, what words can I use to further emphasize what I'm trying to show to you? And I came up with We Grow Here too, and it was just like, it clicked. And I really don't remember like the exact day or moment where I came up with it, but it's somewhat like a feeling that when you got it right,
It was like, that's it.
You just know.
I can't even tell you why it's right, but that's right.
Bro, actually, you know what it is? The nonprofit, right, they used to have this thing called like a 6-word memoir. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like, a memoir is like a part of your life in a story form. Mm-hmm. But a 6-word memoir.
They said 6 words. They said concise.
Concise. So that was like a thing that I had kept trying, and
big phrases, small words.
So I was like, I think I had a We Grow Here too, but it was 6 words. And I grabbed those 4 out of it, and I was like, that's it. Like, that's the one. And it holds a special place in my heart because, one, it's also my characters that's behind it. But then also I did the billboard that was in Roseland.
Yep.
So it was just like, again, in a billboard specifically, right, with the We Grow Here too, is a message to the outside of like, I know you overlook us. Sometimes you don't notice us, but like, we grow here as well. But then also it was a message to us in the community, like, this is our home and we love it as well. Like, we may not stay downtown, we may not stay by the beach, but like, this is our home and we grow here too. So it's kind of like a double entendre in the sense of like, tell them, but also telling ourselves and reminding ourselves that, you know, we are to be loved and we should love where we come from as well.
Man, that's so beautiful, G. That's so awesome that you can deliver that in colors and beautifully like drawn lines. Bro. Like, I don't think you understand how much I'm just enamored by that, because it's so awesome. I feel everything that you're saying when I see these paintings, when I see like the characters holding it, and it's like, oh, I can like almost project myself into one of these characters because I resonate so much with the phrase. I feel like you really got the point across there.
I'm
like,
glad
man, talk about 6-word memoirs. You took 4 and you really made something that I feel is just a beautiful tagline for what you do and how you move about in your art.
Yeah, and I appreciate that too, because it's just like, these are, you know, things that I really sit down and think about, because I'm like, I know that I'm dealing with it and I know I'm not the only one. So it's like, being able to create something that gives inspiration and hope is kind of like the best thing that I feel like I can do as an artist, as a creative. Like, that's solely the reason that I do it. Because to be honest with you, right, I'm not able to paint or create when I'm mad or upset.
Mm-hmm. It has to come from like
like, I have to sit there and think about how I felt, or reread after I've wrote about how I felt, to then move forward with it. Because my outlet is really basketball, what I started in. So, and just understanding that of like, okay, I've dealt with it my way, but maybe other people need other ways of being able to materialize and see it and deal with it. And as an artist, I have the opportunity to create something that makes that easier for them.
Yeah.
So,
oh man, look, now you accidentally answered this question a little bit. I asked this to everybody who comes on the show.
For sure.
I asked them the question of, what do you do to foster your creativity, to take care of it?
Yeah.
Now, you said that like you can't even operate in the angrier spaces. So like, how do you make sure that, you know, because I mean, like, of course you can take a break, you can take a step away, but like when you're doing things like commissioned work, or you're doing things like murals, how do you make sure your creativity is ready for those moments? Like, what are the things in between? Is it the basketball and things like that?
Yeah, so that's actually crazy, right? So for me, it's actually the commissions that help, right?
Wow. So those help the other creative work.
Yeah, because
the commission is easier.
Commissions is easy, right? Or they're supposed to be easier, right? Because I have ideas. Like, I actually pride myself on the creativity of coming up with ideas more than even the technical aspect of painting. So I have ideas for years.
Yeah, it's like, I got enough ideas for paintings. I just got to paint them.
But the thing that I've realized that's helped me is that when I'm able to do commissions, right, and really up until this point, because I am going to switch it moving forward, before, my idea with commissions is that you have an idea that you want to get out your head, and I'll be here to help you present that in a way that it is in your head.
Yeah, so you're just supposed to be the flow in between.
Right. So it's like, even if it's not within my art style, I would try to make it as close to how you have it in your head as possible. And being able to do that helped me get more ideas, because I'm like, okay, I'm tapping into other creatives or people that don't consider themselves creatives, but they have creative ideas. So it was like, okay, I'm basically learning on the job. So
constantly,
literally, so from different perspectives, because I'm working with younger people, I'm working with older people, I'm working with, you know, logos for chiropractor, musician. So it's like I'm getting.
But you get to hear their reasonings behind things. It's like I see that. That could help the creativity, because I feel like even if I were to say like do a commission, especially like I have a friend who's a painter and I've gotten a commission from her before, and like I'll give some crazy ideas. Like I know what I'm doing with the brush, and it's like I can see how that could give somebody else like, oh, maybe I wouldn't have done that like that. So
and that's just how it is. Or like even I love really the feedback portion of when I'm working on commissions. Like I tell people all the time, like because I don't paint when I'm upset and things like that, I'm not really sensitive about my work as much. So
it's like that was created from such a place of happiness. You can't. I wasn't stressed making it, so you can't stress me out at this.
Exactly, and it's just like okay. So when people give me feedback, like I don't really like this, or that's not how I had it in mind. Can we do it this way? I'm like, I appreciate that, because if it was me, I would have stopped there. But you pushed me a little further than I usually would go, which then increases my tolerance of like, okay, you could stop here, but you could also make it better. So let's go a little further and make it a little better. But commissions help me. Like, I feel like I could never run out of ideas because I'm being pulled in so many different directions that it allows my creativity to grow.
Man, you're being pulled in every direction, and you are using it to the best of its abilities.
And that's photography, right? So I'm doing photography, I'm doing paintings, murals, digital work. I'm editing my website.
Man, that's why it's just like, man, like it seems like you have a very like healthy system of the creativity feeding back into itself. Right. Especially since, you're at the point where you get paid for your work. Like this is what you do. It's your tagline. It's your moniker. Yeah. Like that's so awesome that you've achieved that level. Man, come on, G. That's so awesome, man. Thank you so much for these gifts that you give us, man. You are doing it properly. Let me tell you, you are giving us these amazing visual gifts. You are helping to solve these video communication problems, these visual communication problems. I'm sorry. But like the way that you're doing this, the way you're going about this is so awesome. It's so amazing. Trust me, like you about to have somebody over there soon at the Kanvas Studios who needs your help with these breakdowns of visual communication, G. But look, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
I appreciate you.
It's so awesome to just get to hear how you just went through these things, like how these ideas even come into your head and how you deal with them, G. Yeah. Before we get out of here, man, what do you need the people to know? Like, what do they need to check out from you? Where can they find you at? All the things.
For sure. So you can follow me on all social media at Kayshawn _. That's KAYSEAN.
Make sure it's on the screen.
And really, like, I'm really about to tap back in just into my artistry. I have been. Like the Bulls thing was great, and it's been kind of like this. I like to explain it as like the prologue, like of a book. Like
it's like, yo, this is the cover. We ain't in chapter 1 yet,
bro. We're not even in chapter 1
yet. This is just the stuff you need to know before you read my book.
Exactly. So it's just like it's adding context to the pieces that I'm about to move forward and make. Because I'm gonna tell you, like the pieces that you've seen, every piece has been my version of a sketch. In a sketchbook.
Come on, so we ain't even got the finals yet.
These are all.
This is where you going off of what would be considered early work,
bro. Yeah, these are all just testers of like, okay, because I'm self-taught, so it's not like I have 30 paintings in this style, and I'm like, okay, I perfected that. It's like, okay, let me try this. And those are the paintings that everybody is seeing.
It's like if y'all resonate with my early work before I've come in, it's like you drawing the Lil Wayne covers, bro.
Exactly.
This is just one of the benchmarks here.
That's
this is purely another one.
So the work, really just looking forward to the work that I'm really about to start putting out, and the work now is really I'm tapping into how I feel. I'm looking at the notes and then trying to tap back into that emotion and create. So these will even be a bigger piece of me into the paintings themselves.
I can't wait to see what you got up next.
So that's really just what it is. Getting back to the art, man, and just seeing where it takes me from there. I have accomplished every goal that I have not even thought that I wanted to accomplish. So my goals now is really just to continue getting better and putting it out and seeing where it takes me for real.
Man, that's so awesome, G. Well, look, I am going to be here watching and waiting to see what you do next, my man. Now, I usually end these out with a song from the artist because I have so many artists on. But do you have a Chicago artist that we could play a little clip of? Like, who are you like, man? You need to look at the phone too.
I don't even gotta look at the phone. You know you
gotta look at the look. Hey man, I feel you, man. I listen to everything in the city.
I'm gonna go into the Asar just dropped a new single.
He did just drop that Don't Date Rappers. Is that what we're doing?
That's what we're gonna do. I also helped design the hat, so
man, I just saw Ro today wearing the hat and was talking with come on, G.
And I told you on February 14th I had to wake up and do that sketch that day. Yeah. So I resonate with it. So Don't Date Artists is kind of in there as well.
Man, come on, G. Come on. We're gonna play a little bit of Don't Date Rappers at the end of this. Also, shout out to Tapri. He did the editing for the Spotify. Yeah. On the Spotify with that. So man, play that on the screen too, man. That's what I'm saying. The editor of this show, man, the reason why this shit looks so nice, man. So make sure you play that, Tapri. Give him a little clip of it when we going out here, man. Thank you all for tuning into the podcast. Make sure you tune in next week for another episode. Make sure you play this episode for your mama, your sister, your baby daddy, your baby mama, your cousin, your dog. Play for your house while assembling. Put it in your pocket, walk around, turn the volume all the way down, bro. Give me a play. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you next week.
She just wanna date a rapper or a singer, entertainer. She can see the movement popping, so she keep me on retainer. If I'm in the picture cropping, see you later. See you later. See you later.